I am Dr. Brahma Reddy from Kurnool. I am a medical doctor and I am working in the organization Jan Vignan Vedika since 33 years. It is a science popularization organization educating people on the scientific issues and on the superstitions, inculcating in the people the scientific temper and teaching them the method of science. The current topic is suicides, are they sentimental or otherwise. Thank you very much for giving this nice opportunity. Dr. Govind Reddy Garu, retired HOD of psychology in Venkateswara University, has asked me to give my opinions on this issue. The very basic issue, whether they are sentimental, puts a question before us. Are they sentimental or influenced by environment? If it is sentimental and genetically mediated, nothing much can be done on the question of prevention. If they are mediated by environment, a lot of things can be done to mitigate the problem of suicides. That's the very idea probably of putting the heading as "Are they sentimental?" The basic purpose of the study on suicide shall be to observe and analyze the ways and means in preventing the suicides. 80% of the suicides are mostly impulsive. In all of the suicides, the decision to commit suicide is taken 5 minutes before the practice in 24% of instances. The decision is taken 1 hour before the act in 70% of the situations. Only in 6% of the total suicides, the planning used to be quite prior to the event. 50% of the suicides are due to depression, primary or secondary. Primary in the sense there is some base at the neurotransmitter level, like MDP, the bipolar disease, where the maniac phase and depressive phase are there. In the depressive phase, the suicides may occur. In alcoholics, if they are also added to this list, because in the inebriant state, the inhibitions will get rid of. The number increases from 50 to 75. Most of the suicides happen while the people are still in the productive age group. That's why we are interested in this. This is the good reason why every effort shall be promoted to save these lives by preventing suicides. After all, people are independent to think and act. It is true in its real sense when an individual lives in isolation. For an individual living in isolation without a single other person in the vicinity, the meaning of rights, duties and responsibilities is zero. Because these three words, that is rights, duties and responsibilities, assume significance as part of social contract, written or unwritten. When the situation is a single individual, there is no society, no contract, no judgment as to what is right or what is wrong in the behavior of the individual. But our context is a practical social scenario. It is not an isolated instance like the story of Robinson Crusoe. Because humans are always social beings and the present day society is expanded to the level of global society. And every individual, the society has invested a lot of its resources. So, we are all social products. We have no right to end our lives by suicides, and that is tantamount to breach of contract in the society. Exactly why we are all concerned on the measures of preventing suicides with the assumption that suicides can be prevented. Suicides basically the social waste. The society cannot have the luxury of losing its productive members by way of suicides in the name of individuals' freedom and liberty. The basis of suicides, this is an important point, the basis is insecurity. Thus, it comes under the fold of environmental factors. Insecurity can be understood as physical insecurity, social insecurity, and mental insecurity. The base of physical insecurity can be traced to the phenomena of fight or flight. Even in the 21st century, when we all feel we are controlling the nature, we are dictating the nature, we are conquering the nature, we are redesigning the nature, our status of physical insecurity regarding the COVID-19 is very clear. We are terribly getting inconvenience of the present day status of COVID-19. We are terrified. 20 lakhs of years ago, when the human beings are no better than other animals, our physical insecurity was much vulnerable, just like animals. We used to die due to trivial reasons. We are unable to understand the natural phenomena. We resigned to divinity, which created a sense of security in it. Maybe sense of security false or true. As we started understanding the nature, we got a grip on issue after issue. The fight or flight phenomena is mediated by a hormone, neurotransmitter by name adrenaline. It increases the preparedness of the body to fight or the flight by increasing visual acuity, pumping glucose into the muscles, increasing the heart rate to pump more blood to the organs. Physical preparedness is important either to fight or flight. In the self-preserving scenario, the first choice is flight, the last or the second choice is fight. How we put suicides, either in the category of fight or flight. Let us see an example. Close all the doors and windows and chase a cat in a room. Its first choice is flight. It runs and runs to a state where it can't run anymore. Then the cat revolts, so it fights. What is the size of a cat? And what is the size of a human being? Doesn't matter. The cat revolts, the cat fights a human being, that's all. That is the animal behavior grounded by evolution and finally the genetic endorsement. As we are part of the same animal kingdom, we do share the same genetic endorsement. Our first choice is flight. When the door for flight is closed, fight is the only alternative. Flight is a behavior as part of self-preservation, and that flight was not intended to die. It is the part of adaptation to the surroundings. For both actions of flight or fight, the physical phenomena is same, but to come to a decision as to what is to be done in animals, it is done by instinct, but in human beings, other factors come into picture, such as our environmental factors influencing our decision as to fight or flight, our discretion and right knowledge as to which decision is scientific and rational. Environmental factors pertain to everything other than individual's volition, such as his family members, his surroundings, and his professional surroundings, all these things. Thus, the individual's life is constantly influenced by his or her family, social state and profession, and the political and economic environment also. The environment beyond this is also there, that is the nature, and the problems that erupt for reasons known and unknown in the nature, like cyclones, earthquakes, pestilences, floods, unemployment, economic depression, tyranny of the rulers, and the mockery of democracy. The third one is mental arena. At least in human beings, to fight or flight in a given situation is a mental decision making. Unlike instinctual behavior in animals, whether to fight or fight, it is the mental decision of the human being. This is influenced by culture, beliefs, superstitions, and the right knowledge we acquire through practice. The right knowledge we acquire can in turn influence the environmental factors also. The right knowledge helps us understand our body and mind, and finally to help us evolving the mechanisms to cope up. So the outcome of all the physical, environmental, mental factors in insecurity play on one another. Environmental and physical factors are phenomena to physical insecurity, social factors leading to environmental or physical factors or phenomena lead to physical insecurity, social factors lead to social insecurity, mental factors lead to, that is, lack of right knowledge, and lack of scientific spirit lead to mental insecurity. As the basis of suicidal ideation, the creation of idea of suicide can be traced to the various shades of insecurity. The insecurity plethora can be seen like this. The insecure feelings may originate from the real reasons such as disease, unemployment, poverty, etc., or the imaginary reasons such as fear of failure, feeling of loss of love or affection, feelings of loss of power, and insecurity leads to powerlessness, melancholy, fear, weakness, depression, envy, jealousy, hatred, inferiority complex. To overcome the inferiority, feigning superiority, and finally anger. Anger leads to carelessness, sometimes homicides, sometimes suicides. And a lot of psychological protective phenomena get started to protect the self. Losing self or hope is one of the most dangerous sequelae of insecurity, and that leads to ending the life. Even the bodily recuperative mechanisms get dulled in a pessimistic mental arena. The psychological protective phenomena will get unleashed. Hysterical response, projection, rationalization, repression, regression, and grandeur, etc. Factors that promote insecure feelings or environmental factors may lead to triggering secretion of neurotransmitters also. A person, for example, a person hears a sentence through language. It is a mental activity. The sentence is like this: there is a tiger behind you. The person before you announced this: there is a tiger behind you. The sound goes through the ears to the hearing center in the brain. There is certain equivalent in the physical world for the word tiger. The tiger is an animal which can kill you, and certain implications also. Once that memory is triggered, it is a mental phenomena basically, immediately fear starts. Adrenaline gets secreted and released into circulation. Heart rate increases, visual acuity sharpens, muscle tone increases, and that will put you in the mode of flight or fight. Without expressing any feeling by way of gestures, if the word tiger is uttered in a different language which cannot be understood by the person in front of you, the adrenaline phenomena will not occur. So, the body responds to mental stimuli and vice versa, and the mind responds to physical stimuli. Causes of insecurity, diseases were there with no tangible answer, like the corona disease, poverty, unemployment, fear of failure, comparison, adjustment issues for children, marks and ranks leading to lot of stress, future options in career for business people, losses in the business. All of these are the factors present around us. I say they are part of environment. People shall get re-education to overcome these environmental factors. We have to re-educate people on failures and mistakes. After all, failures are part of success and failures are never final. Failures, if properly analyzed, they can be used to build up a success. We have to teach in those lines about the failures and mistakes. There is no human being on this earth who has never committed a mistake. So mistakes are for learning. And identity crisis or recognition, the identity that we give for ourselves is of paramount importance rather than the identity given by others. This is to be educated. And win option, in any given social situation, the person before you also should get benefit and you also shall get benefit. That type of associations only can thrive. Seeing from the other person's point of view, rather than complaining always others before you, you try to understand what the argument present for others also. Then you can understand them. Understanding is different and supporting is different. Try to understand first. Supporting may or may not happen in a given situation. And understand criticism also. When you are in public, criticism comes. You try to understand that, you try to analyze yourselves. If the criticism is apt, correct yourselves. If the criticism is not apt, just ignore it. Goal setting and the importance of planning in the life. Emotional quotient is a measure of emotional intelligence. The re-education should be directed to achieve emotional buoyancy. Our brain can receive, retain, recollect, think and imagine. These are the basic functions of the brain. The basic failure in the education, present education, lies here. We concentrate on receiving material through teachers in the classroom, retaining the material and recollection of the same and reproduction in the examinations. And the parents and teachers alike, they are feeling that recollection and reproduction in examinations and passing out of examinations with good marks is more than sufficient. We would teach our children on how to think properly and how to inculcate creativity or imagination. 80% of our engineering graduates are not up to the mark, even in the professional skills, not to speak of soft skills. Social quotient is a measure of social intelligence. Social age divided by chronological age multiplied by 100, it is the social quotient. Social intelligence lies in attention to others, understanding yourselves, seeing to yourselves, self-analysis, approach to criticism, and no use of complaining, condemning, and criticizing. These three, condemn, complain, and criticize, are of no use. And improving communication skills, improving human relation skills. The skills comprise of smile, you lose nothing in that. Call by name, because people love the single word, their name. Hear more, listen well. Appreciation and show gratitude, exhibit humility. Resolving conflict, that is troubleshooting. Democratic functioning skills, that is team building and empathy. These are all the measures of improving social intelligence. Who has to teach these things in the present day scenario to the upcoming generation? The home or the house is the first thing to teach children about the coping mechanisms in the process of prevention of degrading oneself and finally leading to the problem of suicides. The home is not child-centered, it is parent-centered. We are not exposing our children to problems in the life, insisting on marks and ranks only, not teaching what it means by success. Success is a never-ending phenomenon. Not allowing children to set goals by themselves, interfering in the children's education plans, career plans, and marriage plans. Possessive attitude towards children is in no way doing good to the children. Present day situation is not favorable for mitigation of these problems because a lot of stress is there on the consumerism, lot of stress is there on the lifestyle. The social evolution is far ahead of biological evolution. We are already fighting with the process of evolution. Our genes have learned the way how to store fat for the future necessities, for the future, leading to lifestyle health problems. This is leading to lifestyle health problems like obesity, diabetes mellitus, and heart problems. Social evolution is far ahead of biological evolution. If we eat even 10 grams, if we eat even 10 grams of rice extra to the necessity of us, it will get converted to fat. That is mediated by the biological evolution. As part of the biological evolution, our body has learned how to store fat for the future applications. But our social evolution is far ahead of the biological evolution. Nowadays we can store all these things outside our body. But once we eat, the body decides to store it as fat, thus leading to obesity and diabetes mellitus and heart problems. These are all the lifestyle problems. We can't influence the genes that way, which have learned already to store fat. Single child option, the single child syndrome, misconception that good life means good income only, nuclear families, buffering from elders is absent, rampant consumerism, high performance demand. In the school education, it is insisted on rote memory only, not on scientific temper, not on creativity, not exposing them to social situations and problems, and no encouragement to creativity, and no games and sports to keep the body in fitness. History is disappearing, so the future disappears. Teacher-centered teaching, it is no way good to the student, it shall be student-centered. No role of children in any planning of education. It is quite in contrast with the Finland education. In the Finland, up to 9th class, there will be no exams. Children are given a lot of scope, and the teachers are highly qualified, they are PhDs. Even if they are giving a lot of freedom to the children for the overall development, not insisting upon the marks and ranks. At the end of 10th class, they are tested. You see, there is a test by name PISA test at oral level for all the 10th class students of different countries. For the past 6 consecutive years, Finland children are coming first. How it is possible? When it is children-centered education, it is possible. When it teacher-centered or parent-centered education, our children are worth for ranks and marks only, not worth for the life. And that in turn will put a lot of stress on the children. Need-based education is absent today. Finally, a lot of children become dropouts. There is one method which we try to follow in the schools as Janvignan Vedika. We are requesting the teachers for 5 or 10 minutes in a classroom of 45 minutes. Let them not dwell on the syllabus. They can teach any other thing other than syllabus, like stories or the life histories of patriots, life histories of scientists, or skills which are necessary in the daily life, and problems which they may face in the life, and how to solve them, involving children in the total teaching process. Like that, for 10 minutes, keeping apart from the syllabus, that will teach them lot of life skills. In the social education about the poverty, unemployment, and constitution, democracy, all these things are to be given in the social education. And there are a lot of disparities in the name of caste, religion, haves and have-nots, marginalized groups, government's incentives to people, directly they are giving. Instead, they can take care of the education and health, no incentives need to be given. For example, we have to teach about all these things also. When we teach about the banks are keeping our money in the savings accounts, telling us that will be useful for us in need of emergency. And that amount they are giving as loans to big people. They are becoming defaulters. For the past 6 years, nearly 6 lakh crores of rupees the banks have written off. Written off means they have removed from the bank accounts. Only 10% of the total written off debts they are able to recover. So 90% is almost they are scraping off. And these people are becoming MLAs, MPs and ministers also. This type of facts around the people in the social education, people shall get this type of facts. In conclusion, if we decide that suicides are mediated by genes, or suicides are mediated by environment, most of the observations point out to suicides are mediated by environment, and environment can be manipulated by us, by re-education. But there are 1 or 2 instances where genetically mediation can be seen, like the fight and flight phenomena, or in cases of schizophrenia or bipolar disease, the neurotransmitter base. Though it appears apparently that it is genetically mediated, basically these issues are interrelationship between environmental factors and genetic factors. Most of the psychological phenomena can be traced to this type of interaction. Even if we conclude, for example, in the future, some gene may be isolated which is pertinent to suicides. Even if such a thing happens also, even that is also part of the nature. In the sense, there are 3 basic points in the evolutionary process: struggle for existence, survival of the fittest, and finally natural selection. If such a gene gets isolated, if that gene is responsible for suicides, the nature destines such people with such genes have to face the bitter struggle for existence. In the survival process, they may get extinct. But till now, there is no evidence to put before us the existence of a gene linked to suicides. Most of the problems, most of the instances wherein suicides are taking place, they can be directly or indirectly traced to the factors around us, physical factors, environmental factors, or the social factors, economic, political. Some factor or other we can trace the causation of suicide to one of these factors. And it is equally well known to us that these factors can be manipulated by education, re-education, and the political process, and the determination of the governments, and the counseling, and teaching people in the early age how to cope up problems. So, in conclusion, what I feel, suicides are not sentimental. They are mostly influenced by the factors around us, that is environmental factors. Thank you very much for giving this nice opportunity to interact with you. Thanks to all of you once again.